Good evening and welcome to Just the News. I'm Faye D'Souza. Let's get straight to it. India reported 1,32,000 new cases on Thursday and 2,713 deaths. Now, in the second week of May, we were reporting more than 4,000 deaths every day. That number has climbed down considerably, but still 2,700 people dying in one day is a colossal number. The government has said that this is a 68% decline from the highest peak of new reported daily cases that we saw on the 7th of May. But it has also warned that this is not the time to drop our guard. The government has said that containment measures, COVID-appropriate behavior, or vaccination pace cannot slacken because cases will rise again. It's also said India needs to now buy time to ensure high coverage vaccination against COVID. On the count of vaccines specifically, you'd remember that WHO has not yet given recognition to Covaxin as one of the recognized vaccines by the WHO, and that's caused a lot of concerns among people that other countries will not accept Covaxin as a vaccination in the future when travel opens up, especially for students, right? The government has now said that data sharing is going on with WHO to give recognition to Bharat Biotech's Covaxin. Further, in the note about vaccinations, the government has said that India has overtaken the United States in the number of people who have received at least one dose of the vaccination. But let's take a look at those numbers a little clearly, because experts have told us that it's not the absolute number of doses, but it's the percentage of the population that are covered by the vaccination that matters. So if you compare the two countries, you'll see that India has now completely vaccinated 4.4 crore people with both doses, and that is 3.2% of our entire population. The United States has fully vaccinated 13.7 crore people, and that is 41% of its entire population. So that's a big difference in the coverage that the population has. According to ANI, over 400 United States US colleges and universities have directed students to get their vaccinations ahead of the autumn semester that begins this year. But the ones who are being vaccinated by Indian approved vaccines like Covaxin or Russia Sputnik 5 have been told to revaccinate because these have not been approved by the WHO. US universities are only considering vaccines approved by WHO. This is the Oxford AstraZeneca, so Covishield available in India will count, Pfizer, Moderna and Johnson & Johnson. Indian students who've been vaccinated with Bharat Biotech's Covaxin will have to revaccinate. After months of patients struggling for oxygen and hospital beds in both rural and urban India, Niti Aayog member V.K. Saraswat has now said that India managed the second wave of COVID very well, as the number of cases have now come down significantly. Speaking to PTI, he said, and I quote, "We have been able to manage the second wave of COVID-19 with the help of our science and technology activities, creating oxygen banks, making a large number of industries to support oxygen supply, using railways, using airports and using the military for transporting liquid oxygen." End quote. The central government has now accused the Punjab government of profiteering by selling vaccine sources by the state at higher prices. Now, this comes after news reports that the Punjab government sourced vaccines directly from manufacturers under the state quota, but sold those vaccines to private hospitals for a profit. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar held a press conference on the matter today and accused the Amrinder Singh-led government of making a profit from vaccines. Mr. Javadekar said this is dangerous news. The Punjab government, got over 140,000 doses of Covaxin at 400 rupees each, and they gave some of those vaccines to 20 private hospitals at 1,000 rupees each. The state government wants to make a profit from the vaccination. What kind of a government is this? He said. He also said today the entire Congress party and the government of Punjab are in Delhi. Who will look after Punjab? Ignoring Punjab is their internal fight. This is the big sin of the Congress. His remarks come after Punjab Chief Minister Amrinder Singh met with a 3-member committee in Delhi today set up by the Congress High Command to resolve infighting in the party's state unit before the elections next year. Following these news reports about profiteering on vaccinations, the Punjab government today withdrew its order to provide one-time limited vaccine doses to the 18 to 44 age group through private hospitals, saying that it was not taken in the right spirit. It also said the private hospitals will have to return the doses they were given by the state government and their money will be refunded to them. The Indian government on Thursday said it will make an advance payment and a booking of 1,500 crore rupees to Hyderabad-based Biological E to reserve 30 crore COVID vaccines being developed by this company. Now, this is the first time our central government has placed an order with a vaccine manufacturer before the product has even been granted emergency use by the regulator. Biological E's COVID vaccine is currently in phase 3 trial after showing promising results in phase 1 and 2. According to the centre's plan, the Hyderabad company is expected to manufacture 30 crore doses of what it calls Crobivax between August and December, of which at least 7.5 crore doses will be made available by September. The Madhya Pradesh High Court yesterday directed the junior doctors in the state who were on strike to resume their duties in the next 24 hours, calling their 4-day-old strike illegal. But the protesting doctors were defiant, and 3,000 of them have resigned and announced that they will appeal against this ruling in the Supreme Court. The junior doctors were working for 6 government medical colleges have now given in their resignations to the deans of those colleges. The strike began on Monday with demands that include a hike in their stipend, free treatment for themselves and their family members if they happen to contract COVID. A representative of the Madhya Pradesh Junior Doctors Association, Dr. Arvind Meena, has said the state government has already cancelled their enrollment for the 3rd year postgraduate and therefore they won't be able to take their exams. Dr. Meena claimed that on the 6th of May, the government authorities promised to fulfill their demands, but nothing happened, forcing them to stop work. The division bench of the Chief Justice, Mohammad Rafiq Ahmed, and Justice Sujoy Paul have said that the striking doctors, if they do not resume their duties within the set time frame, the state government must take stern action against them. The bench condemned the decision to go on strike at the time of the pandemic and said that such a step can't be encouraged during a health crisis. Kerala's Finance Minister K.N. Balagopal has announced a 20,000 crore rupee COVID package in the state budget. He's also said that an additional 500 crore rupees will be spent to ensure related equipment and facilities for free COVID vaccinations. The Finance Minister of the state of Kerala has said the package provides for 2,800 crore rupees of health emergencies, 8,900 crore rupees direct disbursement to the people, 8,300 crore rupees of various loans and interest subsidies aimed at financial revival. End quote. In news away from COVID, Kerala has topped the Niti Aayog's 2020 Sustainable Development Growth Index. Bihar has been the worst performer. Now, this index was developed in collaboration with the United Nations to measure the progress of India as a country and at the state level to meet the sustainable development goals that have been set for all countries across the world by the UN. Now, this includes, among others, the removal of poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water, sanitization, industry innovation, infrastructure, and of course in India, removal of crimes against SC/ST communities and empowerment of various groups of people. Kerala retained its position at the top of the rankings with a score of 75, followed by Tamil Nadu and Himachal Pradesh at 72. At the other end of the scale, Bihar, Jharkhand and Assam were the worst performing states. Now, in an update on the farmer protest, the Bharatiya Kisan Union leader Rakesh Tikayat has alleged that the government wants to shift the farmers who are protesting from the borders of Delhi into Haryana's Jind. He added that the farmers will not leave the protest site at any cost. The protest site at Tikri border today was lashed with heavy rains and very high winds. Remember, these farmers have been camping here since November, which means they are outdoors and they have sat through the entire winter in Delhi and then the summer in Delhi and now the rains. The farmers have been protesting the centre's 3 farm laws since the 26th of November. The Delhi High Court on Friday dismissed the lawsuit filed by actor Juhi Chawla against the setting up of 5G wireless networks across India and has also imposed a fine of 20 lakh rupees on the plaintiff, Ms. Chawla. The bench, when dismissing the plea, said the lawsuit was defective and wasted the court's time. The court also said that it appears that the suit was filed by the actor for publicity. Now, on Wednesday, when the hearing was on, one individual who was unidentified kept logging into the video call of this hearing and singing songs from Ms. Chawla's films, which caused repeated interruption in the virtual proceedings of the court. The person was reportedly repeatedly removed from the hearing, but he kept joining again and kept singing again. It was then reported that Ms. Chawla had, for whatever reason, shared the link on her social media asking people to join in, and the court did not take kindly to that disruption. News now coming in from the world of business. RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das has announced the monetary policy today. The monetary policy is the RBI's decisions on how the economy is doing and whether or not it wants to tweak interest rates in order to manage some portions of the economy. The RBI has decided not to change interest rates. This is the 6th consecutive time that it has kept rates unchanged. Also, keeping out a view on the economy right now, the RBI has reduced its expectations of GDP growth for this financial year from 10.5% down to 9.5%. News coming in right now from across the world. The UK's medicine regulator has approved Pfizer's vaccine for children from ages 12 to 15. According to Reuters, the UK's Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunization will now decide whether or not they will vaccinate that age group, but their medical regulator has approved the vaccination. Children between the ages of 12 and 15 are being vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine in the US, while France and Germany are planning to implement the same this month. Taking a look now at the world of sports, according to the chief executive of the International Hockey Federation, hockey matches at the Tokyo Olympics will not be postponed or rescheduled even if one or more players of a team test positive for COVID. He said it's not completely finalized yet. The International Olympic Committee is still discussing and consulting with different team sports. This question is important for team sports. Will the entire team not play? But if one player tests positive, it's not likely the game will be postponed. It's also not possible when you have such a tight schedule. The Olympic Committee is working heavily, and we believe we will know in the next few weeks. Finally, one piece of positive news before we leave you for today. A COVID vaccination camp has been set up in Greater Noida in Uttar Pradesh starting the 7th of June, which will vaccinate specially abled people, transgender people and senior citizens. The camp will be held from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Vikas Bhavan Auditorium. According to the Hindustan Times, the officials are targeting to vaccinate over 200 people above the age of 18 every day. That brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for watching. Leave us a note of encouragement and, of course, enjoy your weekend.